right, sorry about that. 6 o'clock, I'd like to call to order the Town of Van Buren November 12th Zoning and Planning Board meeting. Can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can you do a roll call, please?
Mr. Sykes?
Here.
Mr. Roman?
Here.
Mr. Rose?
Here.
Mr. here. Mr. Budash?
Here. For October 14th, 2025 meeting minutes, or any other comments? I know a couple comments were submitted. I submitted my comments to you. All those edits have been made.
Yes.
Does anybody else have any comments on the meeting minutes from last meeting?
Nope.
Chair, entertain a motion to approve the October 14th, 2025 meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second. Hearing first and second, any comments? Hearing no comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Approved. First item on the agenda, Miss Mary Kriego, 47 Cross Country Drive, tax map ID number 033.1-05-31.0. This is for a subdivision application. Chair entertain a motion to leave general session and enter into a public hearing.
So moved.
Second. Hearing first and second, any comments? Hearing no comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Let it be known we're now in public hearing. Can you please come up and give your name and address, please? It should be on.
Mary Creek.
It's on.
You're on there.
It's on?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Mary Kriego, 47 Cross Country Drive, Baldwinsville, New York.
Okay, thank you. Can you just briefly explain for the public what you're looking to do?
I want to subdivide this back portion of my property to sell to my neighbor who abuts it. He's been mowing it several years because I can barely get up there, so. And he wants to put the fence out for his dog.
Okay. Hearing all that, is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this application? I ask again, is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this application? Hearing no comments, Chair entertain a motion to leave the public hearing and enter back into general session.
So moved.
Second. Hearing first and second, any comments? Hearing no comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Let it be known we are now in general session. Can you please give your name and address again, please?
It hasn't changed. Mary Creek,
I agree.
47 Cross Country Drive, Baldwinsville, New York.
Okay. Simple subdivision. Does anybody on the board have any comments, additional comments on this? And this is something we'll have to do seeker for? Or am I wrong in saying that?
You do have to
Yeah.
do it. It's an unlisted action.
All right, we'll quickly do seeker. The board does declare itself lead agency proceeding on an uncoordinated review. The matter is an unlisted action, and after reviewing the short environmental assessment form, does hereby render a negative declaration finding there are no adverse environmental impacts to be realized. End of motion.
So moved.
Second. Hearing first and second, any comments? Hearing no comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Approved or carried. All right, Chair entertain a motion to approve the Mary Kriego subdivision. Thank you. At 47 Cross Country Drive, Baldwinsville, New York, 13027, tax map ID number 33.01-5-31 and 33.01-5-62. as shown on the stamped and signed drawings, dated 9/30/25. End of motion.
So moved.
Second.
Hearing first and second, any comments? Hearing no comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Approved. Thank you, Mary. I'll get that down for you. I don't want you to... No. We went high. Heavy duty here. Have a good evening. All right, next item on the agenda, Sarah McBride, 532 Crandon Terrace, tax map ID number 031.7-01-01.0. This is for an area variance for a fence and a shed. Chair entertain a motion to leave general session to enter into public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Hearing first and second, any comments? Hearing no comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Let it be known we are now in public hearing. Give your name and address, please.
Sarah McBride, 532 Crandon Terrace, Baldwinsville, New York.
Can you briefly describe what you're looking to do?
Yes, we are looking to have an area variance so we can put in a fence. The area we're looking to do is this extra, for the variance, is this extra part here. Because of how the triangle shape of our lot, we're very limited for the shape of our fence, as well as the back corner of our lot is very wet. So to get the most use out of our space, we are looking to go out to the side from where it is. From these pictures, you can see that it will not block any visibility at the corner since we are the first in the neighborhood. And the main reason we want the fence is because we have a 1-year-old daughter that we would like to contain and keep safe while she's playing outside. Yes. We're looking to do a white vinyl fence, privacy fence, so it'll look good year-round, low maintenance, and it goes in with the aesthetic of the neighborhood.
So you
And-
go ahead.
Last week or month when we were here with the shed being outside of the building line, it was suggested to add another variance to group it all together. So the shed is grandfathered in with the other updates.
Okay, thank you. Hearing that, is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this application? I ask again, is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak for or against this application? Hearing no comments, Chair entertain a motion to leave the public hearing and enter back into general session.
So moved.
Second.
Hearing first and second, any comments? Hearing no comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Let it be known we're back in general session. Can you give your name and address again, please?
Sarah McBride, 532 Crandon Terrace, Baldwinsville, New York.
Okay, so as you explained, we're looking to do a variance for the fence. You want to go from 3.5 foot to 6 foot.
Yeah.
Being that you're on this corner lot, you have a lot of front yards and really no backyard.
Yep.
And then, like you mentioned, as we noticed last week as we were reviewing, or last month we were reviewing it, the shed is basically in your front yard. It's been there since you guys moved in.
Yeah.
2009 as far back as we can
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
So, and all I would say is, you know, if you have no plans to move that shed, you know, we can grant the variance for that. But if you were to ever tear that shed down and come back and try to, you know, to build a new shed somewhere, you would have to come back
So-
in front of
Okay.
us.
Yeah, to that point, I think we would move it if we were gonna.
Yeah, so you'd have to come back in front of us.
Right.
to
Yeah,
get that
yeah,
approved.
but for now, we have no plans
Yep.
to move it.
Understood. So, just reviewing the outline of the fence, you know, once again, this is kind of hand drawn on here, which is fine for the purposes of where we're at now. It gets a little quirky. So you have your patio and gravel area, I would say would be the south or north, probably the west corner there, where it gets really tight.
Yeah.
And it becomes a little awkward for mowing.
So there's where the gravel is, there's stone in front of it. So it will go right next to it, and we plan to fill that corner basically in with stone, so it won't be,
Yeah, it would be cut grass there.
yeah, there won't be grass there in the
Okay.
corner.
That's, well, okay. So, and that's good. So what, I guess what we're gonna go with this, and I'll open this back up to the board here for any comments, is that once this fence does get installed, we'd like you to at least get it surveyed. So we have an as-built survey of the fence, so if it doesn't end up exactly like you have it shown on here,
Yeah.
we at least have the points for the record and the files and stuff like that.
Okay.
It should be a pretty cheap thing to have your surveyor go out there and just hit the four corners of this thing and connect the dots, so.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, we just wanna make sure that the fence, you know,
Yeah.
is accurate for the file, so. Anybody else on the board have any comments in regards to this application? I'm gonna keep asking this, because I'm not an environmental
not a
guy.
fence.
Did you seek her on this?
Yeah,
So this
it is.
res-
Yeah, it's not
This
cheap.
resolution actually,
No, it's
It has it all.
really.
but for what it's worth, because these are accessory structures for a residential use, they're type 2. It just acknowledges that in the resolution.
Oh, it does say that in there. Very
So you're
nice.
good.
I read right through this too, earlier.
It's not the most captivating paragraph in the paragraph.
I wanna read it right now. All right. Sarah McBride of 532 Crandon Terrace has applied for area variance relief from section 200-72B of the Town of Van Buren zoning code relating to the installation of a fence measuring 6 feet in height in her front yard along Crandon Terrace and O'Brien Road, as well as area variance relief to allow the continued placement of an existing shed measuring 10 feet by 10 feet beyond the building line along O'Brien Road. The property identified as tax map number 031.7-01-01.0 is zoned PUD and is located at the intersection of Crandon Terrace and O'Brien Road. Pursuant to the zoning code, because the corner parcel has two lot lines coincident with the line of public street right away, it has two front lot lines. Section 200-72B of the zoning code provides on all lots, no wall, hedge, or fence over 3.5 feet in height shall be erected within the front yard. Accordingly, the applicant is seeking approval for the placement of a 6-foot-high fence in her front yard along Crandon Terrace and O'Brien Road. In addition, applicant seeks relief in the amount of 13 feet from the required front yard setback of 30 feet to place an existing shed 17 feet from the front yard boundary line along O'Brien Road. A public hearing on the applications was held on November 12, 2025. During its deliberations, the board acknowledged unique triangular shape of the property and there are no site distance concerns presented by the proposed variance relief for the fence or shed structure, and that the shed has existed since 2009. No one appeared in opposition to the application. In support of the application, the applicant submitted an application for area variance for the fence dated October 3rd, 2025, and an application for area variance for the shed structure dated October 24th, 2025. Agricultural data statement, notification to surrounding property owners, a short environmental assessment form, and a survey prepared by Dussing Land Surveying LLC dated July 17, 2024. Based upon the foregoing, upon motion of
You'll fill that in at the end.
and seconded by the Town of Van Buren Planning Board and Zoning Board of Appeals resolves as follows. This matter is a type 2 under the State Environmental Quality Review Act as it involves in granting of an area variance related to a single-family residential use and an accessory structure. 2, it is determined that the requested variance relief will not produce any undesirable change in the residential character of the neighborhood and will not be a detriment to nearby properties as it was noted by the board that there are no line of sight issues. Variance relief for the proposed fence and shed will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. Neighbors did not express any opposition to the variance. Due to the unique triangular shape of the property, there is no apparent method to achieve the benefit the applicant wishes to obtain other than the variance, and the benefit to the applicant does outweigh any detriment to the neighborhood or community because of granting the variance relief. An area variance is hereby granted, allowing a fence measuring 6 feet in height to be situated in the front yard along Crandon Terrace and O'Brien Road, and the placement of a shed measuring 10 feet by 10 feet, 17 feet off the front yard boundary line along O'Brien Road, as depicted on the survey prepared by Dussing Land Surveying LLC dated July 17, 2024, on property located at 532 Crandon Terrace, tax map number 031.7-01-01.0, with the condition that you provide a surveyed map of the final fence locations.
Yep.
And the motion.
Second. So moved.
Can you do a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Sykes?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Rose?
Yes.
Mr. Virginia? Ms. McMahon? Mr. Stausenbach? And Mr. Budash?
Yes. You're approved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
When are you starting the fence? Now or this spring?
Hopefully like depending on snow, in like a month. If there's no snow, if there's snow, then it'll be in spring.
No, like too long, that 1-year-old will be running away on you.
Yeah.
Trying to, thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
Excuse me, folks. Here's a copy.
All right, moving right along. With what? You can have my copies. All right, next item on the agenda, Trey Brook subdivision phase 3, Lexi Lane, tax map ID number 064-03-01.0. This is a subdivision application for final plat approval for phase, what phase is this, 3? Name and address, please.
Brandon Jacobson, Brolex Properties, 5912 North Burke Street, East Syracuse, New York.
Okay, do tell.
So we're looking to file our next phase in Traybrook, which we're considering phase 3. 22 lots. Nothing's changed from the original 2019 filing of the entire subdivision. We're just looking to bring these lots online. We are waiting on a grading agreement and construction agreement. So I was hoping that the planning board had some time to take a look, and we could make it contingent on that for the town board meeting next week, as we're anxious to get these lots online.
Well, a couple things. So a lot of this phasing does not match what was originally done.
Agreed?
So we need a new phasing map for the entire parcel that shows all the new phasing that, as you continue to build this, obviously we approved 2B last, or 2
Yep.
months ago, what it is now. Now going into this phase 3, you're gonna need an updated map to show all the phasing lines
Do that.
so they match. So the concern obviously is that, as you stated, there's, we don't have a construction agreement or a grading agreement in place for this. And, looking to get this layout revised for the overall site, if you would. Those are my concerns at this point. Does the board have any other comments regarding this? I went through and took a look at the size of the lots and some of the dimensions. They seem to match what was there from the original
And nothing,
plot.
we haven't proposed any changes.
So I'm good on that point.
So all that's there now is just the roughed-in road?
So right now, as of today, we've started crossings. Our road is to within an inch of grade. We're putting crossings in. We've gotten the design from Grid. We hope to have that finished sometime Monday, Tuesday, as we're planning to pave. Middle of next week, before the plant's closed.
So what's the timing on construction and grading agreements?
As soon as I have it, I mean, like I said, Aqua's already been paid for. We're on the list before year end. The National Grid, like I said, we've got the construction agreement. We're just, executing the crossings as we speak. We're putting Aqua crossings in just because obviously we have some time constraints with the asphalt plants, and Aqua's set to be in sometime in the first week of December.
So you mentioned that you're in a hurry to get this approved.
Well, the builder that's currently building the homes on Phase 2B, they're out of lots at this point, there's none left, so they're looking to bring this online, and obviously they want to make sure that the map's filed before marketing, so, which is I think a good thing for the town, good thing for the neighborhood.
Understood. I mean, I would wish that we had all those agreements in place
You and me both.
to get this approved. What's it gonna hurt if we wait another month for this, to get all these agreements in place? Will they be in place by next month?
I think my understanding is that the town attorney and Jason have been working on it since last week. I haven't seen a copy of it yet, but I know it's in process. We were just hoping to have it for the town board meeting next week,
Understood.
if feasible. I mean, obviously, there's gonna be some, security has to be posted, things of that nature.
Well, I guess I'd ask the rest of the board. My thought would to hold off until next month when we get all these agreements in place. I guess I'd look to the rest of the board for your thoughts. We have 4 of us, so if we voted on this is all we got, so.
Jason, do you recall what our procedure was on the last phases? Whether we had all those in place before?
Except for 2B. Yes.
So we didn't have 2B, all those agreements in place when we approved 2B.
No,
right?
in fact, no, it's okay.
We're working on that one right now as well.
They're going to be receiving 2B as well as 3. Creating a construction agreement.
And that goes to the phasing confusion. We have a construction agreement for Phase 2, and then when we're at 2A and 2B, and it didn't cover like we thought it did.
Just for the planning board, we did top the road on 2A this year, so that's done. So all the topping in the neighborhood for the existing phases is complete as far as pavement goes. So we're looking to be able to deed the road in Phase 2A to the town.
When do you plan on doing that?
Whenever you and Chris can get it together, we're happy to do it.
So I need just for your own information to go back to Chris, I need the title report because it'll have to show that there aren't any liens and that everything's been released or anything like that. So that's the first step, is we require the title insurance and title report.
Do you want to just have Chris get you that directly?
He has in the past, I believe.
Oh, yeah,
so
we
yes.
just literally did it a week ago for a different matter, so I'm sure he's got it good, and he can run the title again quickly.
That would be fine. But just as a heads up, that will be needed.
Yeah,
If you're going to
some
dedicate.
weird National Grid old Chapman
Yes.
easement that we had to take care of, which I
Yeah.
think he did, but I just gotta make sure that it's been truly taken care of.
And I don't know if, to your point, when he took care of it, I don't know if it's by piece
Yeah.
or if it was the entirety.
Okay, I'll reach out to him in the morning, it's no problem.
So I guess I throw it right back up. I mean, I guess from what I just heard, we approved 2B 2 months ago without all these agreements in place, but that also set off the confusion of where this phasing actually is.
And just to go back to the whole subdivision, so this is the final phase for the single-family lots that we consider single-family lots, even though there's some patio homes that are very similar to single-family lots, but those are part of the full-service HOAs. This is a 2-phase HOA, so this is the last phase. We call it the de minimis HOA, where it's just the stormwater. The remaining 82 lots are all under that HOA that's full service, takes care of the lawn, snow removal, siding, windows, that nature, so.
Any other thoughts from the board at this moment?
So if you were to go ahead and pave next week like you said, What's holding you back from doing anything else at that point?
What's holding me back? Okay, so what do you mean by that?
Well, if we were to wait till next month to approve this, you can go ahead and pave.
Yep.
Aqua can get their water in December. What are we holding up if we wait till next month?
I think it's just a matter of my customer is looking to have more of a saleability. I think they've got a few people that, people just get a little nervous trying to sell lots that aren't truly filed yet at this point. So this was more the request of the purchaser, that they've got some people that would like to start sticking their flag in the ground, so to speak. And I don't think they feel comfortable if the map's not filed, because you don't really have anything to sell.
Even with a preliminary approval that we put on it?
Well,
Yeah.
no,
No.
I had a developer, not this developer, in a different town selling lots from a preliminary plan.
That changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just gets a little hairy.
Mark, that's risky to prove it.
Well, 100%.
And I guess
I
just,
didn't hear what Roger said.
He just said it's risky to approve it.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning that way.
Jamie?
And if an agreement's changed, then I think that's got to be resolved before we can move on to the next step.
So can you get us a revised overall site plan with all the new phasing on it
sure,
before next meeting?
yeah.
And we will work to get these construction grading agreements together, and then we can approve this next month?
I should know it, right?
So good.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, come.
Not now. Then, yes. Yes. Yeah, that's what he said. Security. Yeah. He acknowledged. Yep. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda, Mr. Mark Gummer, 7465 Canton Street, tax map ID number 032.06-07.3. This is for a height variance. Yeah, if you don't mind.
I can read it.
Perfect. Can you give your name and address, please?
Mark Gummer, 7463 Canton Street and 65.
Okay. Can you tell us what you're looking to do?
We're hoping to put a pole barn here, 80 by 40, but we didn't know until we had applied that the height for accessory structure was 15 feet. Just doesn't work, so
Understood.
I had to duck to get in.
So you're looking to get a height variance from
15 to 20.
15 to 20? Okay, and I see you recently submitted some stamped engineered plans showing the layout of the pole barn and an elevation view.
We had submitted just the trusses.
Yes.
And it was a little late. We found out it was not quite enough information.
Yeah, we just needed that elevation view to, so 16. So what's the height? So what's the height to the absolute peak?
It was 16 feet
To
under
the
truss.
Yep.
Peak, I think, is 7 feet above.
So you're 23 there.
19.9 was the,
Maybe 19.9 total.
yeah, the trusses were 7'6".
So he really doesn't need to a full 20 feet then.
He needs a, yeah, so I figured out he needs a 4'7" variance.
Okay.
It'd end up being 19 foot 9 inches minus the 15 foot allowable.
All right, we'll go to 20. Enough said, thank you. Okay, so we'll have to, similar to the last two or the first two applications, this has to go to a public hearing. So we'll look to schedule a public hearing for
December 9th.
for December 9th. Does the board have any questions or comments at this point regarding this application?
I just think that somewhere in the plan should be included elevation showing the actual height of the building with expansion.
Yeah, there's just not a dimension on the elevation view. It just shows, that's why I asked, it's 16 foot to the under truss, like you mentioned. It just doesn't show a height to the top, so. Anybody else? All right, Chair entertain a motion to schedule a public hearing for Mr. Mark Gummer, 7463 and 7465 Canton Street, tax map ID number 032.06-07.3 for Tuesday, December 9th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Hearing first and second, any comments? Hearing no comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Carried. So we'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you want to just add that, if you could get that added there.
Yes.
So next month, you just come back, do the same thing, hang it up on the board, present it to the public, see if there's any comments, and we'll go from there. Thank you. Have a good evening. All right. Last item on the agenda. Harbor Heights, Downer Street, tax map ID number 036.03-21.0. This is for a zone change recommendation to the town from AR40 to a PUD.
Okay, that's sure I'd like to approach the house here. I've got sets of revised plans and another exhibit I'd like to present to the board. It's more or less the same, just a couple of revisions for grading. So yeah, no need to open the full size. I'm sorry.
We'll have to reschedule.
Yes, I'm sure. Yeah, we'll use that. I hear you got one. Was that? We got a guy. Yeah.
Is this a smaller version of this? Oh. Al, what you just handed out, is that different than the large, full-size?
Just slightly on the grading plan, yes.
Okay. And we'll look at the new one.
Name and address, please.
Good evening, Al Yeager, CHA Consulting, 600 South State Street, or sorry, 300 South State Street, Suite 600, Syracuse, New York. Here on behalf of Eldon Homes, this is the new Harper Heights section, located at the corner of Downer Street and Comaine Road. Parcel is 12.35 acres in total, which is greater than the minimum 10 acre required for PUD zoning. Parcel is owned by Green Lakes Associated LLC. The project now includes 21 single-family lots, which is revised from when we were here the last time. The revisions were a result of a wetland delineation prepared by Plumley Engineering in October. That reduced our buildable area. So you can see here on the eastern end of the site, there's a wetland that has been delineated. It does show a 25-foot buffer here. That 25-foot buffer is based off of a New York State DEC general permit that has been issued in draft form, and the Home Builders Association has been informed that the DEC intends to adopt that, what has been presented in a draft form, which will allow for single-family and multi-family residential construction with only a 25-foot wetland setback. A copy of that was emailed to the chairman yesterday, and I'll make sure that we print hard copies for the rest of the board as well.
Is that different than the original or the existing permit?
It is.
How much?
It's a variance. It goes from 100 foot as the current requirement for state regulated wetlands, and reduces it to a 25-foot wetland buffer area.
So this hasn't been approved yet?
It has not.
Do we have a time frame of when this is going to be approved?
We've been told it's imminent. I don't know if Dan has gotten any further feedback from the Home Builders Association, but we have been informed that it is imminent.
Okay.
Resulting from the reduced area, we have gone with cul-de-sac layout, which has eliminated the second connection onto Downer Street Road. This layout provides a couple benefits to the town in that it's actual less footage of town road to maintain and operate long-term, and it provides some very nice cul-de-sac lots that are desirable and typically assessed at a higher value. The current layout again is 21 lots. The minimum lot size shown is 12,900 square feet. The minimum lot depth shown is 124 feet. Those vary slightly from what we had discussed at our last meeting, and that is a direct result of the standard geometry for the Van Buren cul-de-sac. If you look at the single sheet that I handed you, I did prepare a layout that would meet the 13,500 square foot minimum lot size and 150 foot lot depth requirement. But what it does is it results in awkward shaped.
Don't worry about it. We got all this in front of us. You're fine.
This is the tripod.
This layout results in lots 10, 11, 13, and 14 having very odd, awkward lot lines, and ultimately just reduces the usable property for the owners of those lots. The reduction of by 600 feet of lot size is a 4.4% difference, and the reduction to 124 foot lot width on the one property line represents a 17.3 difference. The building setbacks still remain as presented last time. Minimum front yard will be 20 feet, minimum front yard will be 25 feet, minimum side yard will be 20 feet with a minimum of 5 foot on one side, and a 25-foot rear yard setback with a maximum allowed lot coverage of 35%.
My understanding that the agreed was 25 feet combined for the side yard?
20. It
Jim
was
told me
15 and 5.
25.
What's that?
Jim told me 25.
It was definitely 20. That was what we presented the last time. Yeah. Yeah, it was 5 on one side, 15 on the other.
Go ahead. Keep going. Sorry.
No problem. There will be a monument sign constructed at the entrance to the development. It will be in compliance with all town of Van Buren zoning code requirements. We just haven't got to the point where we're ready to prepare details for a sign. There is no open space, public open space included in this layout. The developer would prefer to pay a fee in lieu of parklands as allowed by town code. The roadway design is in accordance with town of Van Buren standards, cul-de-sac and grading. Our maximum slope is 5%, coming to a low point where the power lines cross the site. These two catch basins at the low point are set at the existing grades at that location, so we're not changing the grading underneath the power lines. There are two stormwater ponds. This is a result of a discussion I had after last meeting with Claude to split how the runoff comes from this property, so we're not sending any non-needed water towards the eastern parcels where there is not an existing drainage easement, but there is a very established drainage way to a culvert that goes under the road to the east. The ponds are designed in accordance with the New York State DEC Stormwater Design Manual. We did have an absence in our office past couple days. Somebody was out sick, so I did take a stab at the HydroCAD model. I'm just waiting for somebody else that uses that program every day to review it before I present it to the town engineer. But we have made it work. The cul-de-sac is in accordance with the town standards. We go to there's a high point in the road here. We match the high point in the middle of the cul-de-sac, pitch everything back around to two low points here on the back side of the cul-de-sac and maintain the 2% slope as required. Proposed public sewer connection is here at the corner of Comain and Lanyard. We've shown that we can serve all the lots and meet the health department 10 state standards for slope and sewer size. Being only 21 lots, we do not anticipate, as I previously stated, there'll be any issues with serving these lots, knowing that the existing Harbor Heights pump station was constructed with capacity to serve the Whispering Oaks and Seneca Estates neighborhoods on the north side of the river, which have in turn been served through a force main that goes back to the village pump station. So those developments will never end up going to the Harbor Heights pump station. So there should be more than adequate capacity for this small increase in flow associated with 21 lots. A capacity assurance has been submitted to WEP. A copy of that was provided in our submission. Water supply will come off of Comain Road. As you know, Aqua designs water supply directly. We have asked for capacity assurance, but again, this is 21 lots off of a major main that's really at a low area within the town. There should be no pressure or flow restrictions in this area that I anticipate.
Do you know if they're gonna loop that main back out to Downer?
I don't, yeah, and they won't design until Dan pays them a deposit, and Dan isn't gonna pay them a deposit until, you know, we get through the zone change and get into a subdivision.
I believe they probably will loop it because they don't like dead end lines.
And that's fine. We can certainly provide an easement as needed. We'd probably come out between 10 and 11 here. That way we can avoid the wetland, and we've got, probably put the easement all on lot 9 inside, just so we're not encumbering lot 10 anymore. So we really don't need to go through the discharge control structures and town standard road section. The project is consistent with the town of Van Buren comprehensive land use plan, and that includes single-family housing in the AR40 transitional zone. The projects will offer lots of similar lot size and density of the existing Harbor Heights development. There's lots in the Harbor Heights development that go as small as just under 10,000 square feet and depths of 100 feet. The single-family housing market in the town of Van Buren remains strong, as evident by the success of the Traybook project. Trip generation for the 21 lot subdivision. We had GTS Consulting prepare a trip generation memo. GTS's memo was based on the old layout, which was 27 lots. Going to 22 lots results in a 22% reduction in trip generation. So your AM peak hour exiting the development is 11 trips, and your PM peak hour entering the development is 13 trips. These are very minor increases for an intersection with a state highway. There's more than adequate gap capacity there to allow for that turning movement and the slight increase in peak trip generation compared with the existing Harper Heights development density. That pretty much summarizes it. I went through every point as requested in the zoning code for the PUD of information that's required. At this time, we addressed the comments that we received yesterday morning related to why the layout changed. We would request a referral back to the town board for the zone change so we can move the project forward into the subdivision phase.
Okay. So my concerns are, and we've talked about this.
Yep.
You know, we formed a PUD committee for this project.
Yep.
And we had one meeting, and now all of a sudden we're back here in front of the whole board when we were supposed to get all this stuff approved and agreed upon within this committee, and two of the committee members aren't even here tonight to even speak towards any of this, so I don't even know how much has been reviewed. And the fact that you guys went ahead and changed, obviously we understand the reasoning why everything changed, but you went ahead and changed stuff and just submitted it to the board instead of going back through the committee to get all this discussed and
Understood.
approved.
We really consider the changes to be minor.
Well, they might be minor to you guys, but it's completely different. How minor it is, it's still different than what you guys agreed upon coming out of the last committee meeting.
We did receive, as you know, email from Jim stating that he was not necessarily opposed to the revised layout. We have one other committee member here this evening.
But he also in that email expressed, I still agree that there should be a discussion.
And we certainly would have requested a committee meeting if we had gotten comments before yesterday.
Well, but you never submitted this back to the committee. That's, I guess my point is, you could have easily reached out to the committee that you have been dealing with.
We were under the impression that the accommodation that we're asking you to make is not a big request.
Well, it did.
We just lost 6 lots because of federally regulated wetland, which wouldn't have been regulated over a year ago, is now regulated by the state.
Right.
So it's a big hit to us. I think we're asking the town to be cooperative.
Well, I understand that, Dan.
I know I can't speak on behalf of the committee, but if I did, I'd say they'd have no problem with this. I was at the meeting.
You can't say that.
I was at the meeting.
You were at the first meeting. There's not been any
There's been
meetings
one
since.
committee meeting. There's at least one other committee member here.
Yeah, one.
Okay, I'd like to hear what he has to say.
At the very least, I'd like to see some documentation on the drawings that indicates that, that's the condition that allows a 25-foot buffer. This is my first time hearing about the issue. I thought it was a 100-foot buffer.
If it doesn't get approved, I just can't use those lots. I'll just build them and they can't be used.
I understand.
We'll leave them off the filed subdivision map.
But right now we're doing a lot of hearsay, so stuff that's going on here. I mean, you guys have, you've come in front of us. The 25 foot's not even.
I'm asking for the town to give us a little bit of cooperation.
I think we've been cooperating right along here, Dan.
If that were the case, we wouldn't be involved with a lawsuit with one another.
Well, I can't speak to that because we didn't bring a lawsuit. You guys brought
I
a
can speak
lawsuit.
to it. I'm asking you.
But that has nothing to do with this board.
Okay.
That lawsuit has nothing to do with this board.
Okay, but our decision to hold it in abeyance was conditioned upon some cooperation from the town.
Right, and we cooperate.
And I'm asking you to cooperate further.
I'm not going to sit here and make an approval when half the committee's not even here. Or 2/3 of the committee's not even here tonight.
Well, we feel like 2/3 of the committee can't weigh in. There's one committee member, and I would ask him to speak to the lot size variance and the depth variance that we're requesting. And the other committee member through email said he didn't have a problem.
But he would like to discuss it more. He said that specifically in the email. I read the email.
What we're really asking for is a referral to the town board so that they can vote on this. We'll be back before this board for ultimate approval and way.
I understand that, but we also have to have our ducks in a row to give it back to the board, because then the board's gonna, if we get this approved and we send it back to the board, and if they don't approve it because the ducks aren't in a row, that leaves you in a worse place than you are now.
Well, I suspect we can get way in before our town board appearance. We have to wait 2 meetings before that board votes. 1 meeting to set a hearing date, and then another meeting for the hearing.
I understand.
That gives us plenty of time to meet again with your committee.
I understand that, but why did?
We'd like you to move the referral forward so we don't lose yet another meeting.
But you also could have got this wetland delineation done way before this time right now. We've been talking about a wetland delineation out there.
Before we go any further, because this is deteriorating and that's not where we want to go, maybe the better way to phrase this is we would like to at least get in front of the town board so we can get a public hearing scheduled. The public hearing could be scheduled after the next planning board meeting, which would allow us time to meet with the committee before your next meeting and then have the public hearing the week after your next meeting at the town board meeting the following, which would be the
December 9th is our next meeting.
so the 16th.
Their next meeting is showing the 17th.
Sorry, 17th.
But the only way the town board is gonna do that is if we make this referral tonight.
That is correct.
And I stand here and I keep saying the same thing, is that we are not gonna be ready to approve this without the committee agreeing to everything that's changed on this.
Would it be possible to schedule a special meeting?
For the entire board meeting? It's possible. Yes, I can say that there's a potential to do that.
Would we be able to get a committee meeting scheduled for beginning of next week? I don't know what Mr. Jim's, I'll butcher his last name if I say it.
No, you're good.
I don't know what Jim's schedule is like, but I'm sure we can find availability beginning of next week to have a committee meeting if the board is willing to entertain a special meeting in 2 weeks.
I would say it's the board.
Yeah, I'm available for a committee meeting.
Fine with me.
Roger? I have no problem doing that.
I think that stands unacceptable. That's a compromise.
Anything that pushes things moving along, that'd be great.
Okay.
We would appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, so just a couple other comments that I have in regard to this. So this wetland buffer obviously is 25 feet based on new regs that are going to be somewhat approved down the road here. We don't know when this is going to happen.
You do.
So it might be worthwhile to show what a 100-foot buffer is going to do to this. If that ends up being for the next 2 years, everything's imminent, I get
Absolutely.
that, but we know how fast the DEC
Ultimately,
moves.
what happens is lots
13,
11,
12,
12,
11.
13 go away.
Yes.
We may push the cul-de-sac this way and try to pick up a couple of them, but ultimately it'll be less density than what is shown,
Understood.
which is what the town indicated they want.
Understood. Yep.
So what we are showing here is best case scenario for the developer in that provided this draft general permit is adopted.
And worst case for density.
Exactly.
And we've already come down from 27 to 26
To 21.
To 21 now.
It also doesn't preclude that we can apply for an individual permit instead of relying on a general permit.
Correct.
So there's alternatives at the general
Understood.
permit.
Yep.
I know that this negotiation that's going on between the State Builders Association and the DEC and other interested parties, they wouldn't have released a draft to us that they didn't think it was anything.
I agree. And I just know how fast the DEC moves on.
Oh, absolutely.
anything.
Yeah, we've all seen it. We've all worked in this industry long enough to know what the DEC is
Right.
thorough,
Okay.
we'll say.
Yeah. Thorough. So my other comment goes to the traffic generation. I agree with everything that's in this traffic generation. My only concern and what you're going to get pushback on is the under, less than 60, which is now come down. I'm just going to use what I see here. Less than 60 cars trips being generated during the peak hour for both of these lots. So you got you got this lot, and then you got the future western lot coming off of Comain. You're gonna have everybody using that Comain intersection, okay? I understand there's probably enough gaps, but at nowhere in here it says that, you know, we've looked at the background traffic, there is this amount of delay now, we're gonna add 60 trips to this unsignalized intersection, and it's gonna it's gonna have minimal delay increases to the public entering and exiting, mostly exiting Comain Road. I don't know if there's can be something to add to this to address that.
At this point in time, we are only proposing the 21 lots as shown. The other project, as you know, as we work through the development process, it's always get reduced, lots always get lost, lots get combined, you get bigger lots. Excuse me. There's going to be changes. This is a worst case scenario. We would ask the board to take that into consideration, and at this time, hey, we're talking 11 trips in the peak hour AM, and that's going to be the most concerning part because the right-hand turn movement into this development for the 13 trips in the afternoon.
Entering's not the problem, it's the exiting problem that we're talking about here.
It's 11 trips. It's, you know, one additional trip every 5.4 minutes. It seems very insignificant and does not appear to warrant a traffic study. If we get to the point, a full traffic study, if we get to the point with the next project, there is concerns, at that time we would certainly consider doing a full traffic study with additional traffic counts.
Okay. I somewhat agree with that rationale.
I mean, that's the reality of it is we're really only looking at 21 lots at this time.
I know, but anytime you do a traffic study, you always have to build upon what you know is coming down the road.
Yeah, absolutely, totally
in that area.
Totally understand.
And being that it's under your guys' development, even more so needs to show that, you know, that's included, which you included it here. I get all that. Okay. Any other comments from the board? All right, so I will reach out to Jim as soon as we get out of this meeting.
Okay.
I will call him personally.
Okay.
He's dealing with a family emergency right now.
No, I totally understand.
If I don't get a hold of him tonight, I will get a hold of him
He was
tomorrow.
very responsive, and I appreciate that yesterday, because I know it was going on yesterday too, and I appreciate that he reached out later in the evening.
Yeah, him and I were going through it Monday and Tuesday,
Yep.
back and forth, so he called me requesting all your information, so.
You have to check with James too, right?
And James, yeah, but I'm gonna leave it up to Jim to get this meeting scheduled with you.
Okay,
But
I'll make myself available when needed.
Okay. Any other questions or any other thoughts, questions from this board that can be relayed back to the committee? I mean, Jamie's obviously part of the committee, as been discussed. Can we get a copy of the wetland delineation report?
Sure, they haven't finalized the report, we got the mapping done, they're working on it.
At some point, can we just get a copy?
As soon as completed, we'll get a copy of it to you.
The last thing I'm gonna say is, I agree with your layout that you've done here that creates these crooked ass.
It's just a bad, it's a
bad.
I mean, I can do it, if that's really what the board wants to see, I'll do it.
I understand.
But it just creates lots that have a lot of unusable space that has awkward lot lines. It's not desirable for the homeowners, it's not desirable for the town. It doesn't do anything for anybody in this. The small variances are a direct result of what the town cul-de-sac geometry is. If the town would prefer a hammerhead, that is something that we could look at.
Well, that's a discussion that we'll have to have, with the highway department and when we actually do the site plan layout.
Yeah.
My only other question would be, if this wetland boundary buffer ends up being 100 feet, worst case, would there be any thought to making a secondary connection onto Downer, because you'll now have the space to do that?
when we have the space to do it now, it just adds
Well, you're
more.
gonna take away lots if you do it now.
Yeah.
But if you had that 100-foot buffer and you lose,
We would still lose, yeah, honestly, Mark, we looked at it, even with the 100-foot buffer, no matter what, we lose one additional lot with the second.
well, with the
Yeah,
secondary
yeah, with the
entrance.
secondary entrance, because you're right away with the 60 feet.
Yep.
So
Okay.
no matter what, we lose one more lot.
Okay. All right. Dan, I apologize for being,
I apologize to you, sometimes we can get a little short-tempered.
That's where we are.
A lot of stuff going on.
understood.
I don't know if you saw the news break, but the gas ban has been lifted.
I'm hearing bits and pieces of that as of tonight, so.
Be able to build with gas, so that puts some additional pressure on builders who want to get lots
Get it done,
online.
yep, understood.
As a friend of the industry, I would suggest if you're going to have a special meeting, maybe you can invite Mr. Jacobson back so we can get his matter cleared up by then as well.
We'll see what, that's a whole other matter. Okay. We're good?
We're good, thank you very much.
I will have Jim contact you ASAP.
2 weeks from tonight, or 2 weeks from, yeah, for a special meeting.
Tuesday night's good for me.
Well, it's gonna probably
Oh,
be
the
without,
committee, you're worried about the committee?
we're gonna wanna get this ahead of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, that would be the goal.
I won't be here, so it'll be Jim will run the whole meeting with the committee, which is fine, because
Yeah.
he's running the committee anyway. So,
Yeah,
we'll get it scheduled.
okay, thank you very much. That's
Thank
something
you.
that we need to follow on.
As soon as I talk to Jim, I
Say if
will,
you wanna do it on Monday, that's good by me too, like,
we'll figure out a day, yeah, we'll figure out, if it's not a Tuesday, we'll figure out the day that it
give it
needs
a
to be.
holiday, if people don't wanna travel or whatever. we'll live.
Yep,
Okay.
okay. Thank you, gentlemen, appreciate it. Okay. Any other comments or questions from the board? Any additional
Yes.
items?
The wood processing lot up here at the 690 interchange, the on-ramp. Have we heard any more back from that gentleman? It was like 3 or 4 months ago. He was here and promised a lot, and we haven't seen anything from him.
I'm assuming Chaz
You
doesn't know
probably
anything about
aren't
this
familiar
yet?
with it at all.
He hasn't come in with anything new.
Maybe it's time to rattle his cage again.
Yeah, I don't remember what the holdup was. Something with the property owner, maybe?
The property owner.
Well, something with, yeah,
And
Jim.
wasn't it, and we're wiping away some cobwebs here, but wasn't it the property owner maybe had some reluctance to prepare a real site plan?
Yeah, there's 50% of
Or with
it's Jim's issue, Jim Noble's issues that are out there. And that could be, I believe that's.
I think there was
the case.
something about that, because there was a lot of information that was missing on what had been submitted. Well, I don't believe.
Well, there was a lot, yeah, we needed a full site plan.
And it really wasn't a
It wasn't
site
even
plan.
close to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was supposed to bring stuff back to scale and have everything plotted.
Basically
everything.
equal Jason's highlighting deal job here, so.
I did that at Wendy's direction.
Chaz, I would just,
What's the address?
it's the corner lot up off of 690 and Van Buren there.
Tom's familiar with it.
Yeah, you might want to talk to Tom about it. He's the one that, Jim asked Tom to look into it. Tom looked into it, came in front of our board, the site plan. What they provided was color drawing, to say the,
Almost a napkin drawing.
yeah. So, anything else? Okay, Chair entertain a motion to close the November 12th, 2025 zoning and planning board meeting.
So moved.
Second. Hearing first and second, any comments? Hearing no comments, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Closed.